Alright, guys, welcome to a new episode of the podcast. And today's going to be very, very special because we are going to make property sexy again. So, for the first time in our show, we have a female guest. And I just want to introduce the guest because I've been following this guest for a long time, since 2020. One of a video called SS2. I'm pretty sure the guests know what video is this. So from there, I'm started following it. So I'm kind of like, having a, oh my God, a fan service kind of moment right now. So without further ado, first in our show, we have Swiss Tan.
Hey, thanks, Vince, for having me here today.
All right. So I know, people know your name, but some of them who don't know you more than just your name, can you give us a short introduction of yourself?
Okay, interesting fact. Swiss is really my name. It's on my IC. People don't believe it. My doctors, my dentist would put my name as my Chinese name, Tan Li Ping, and Swiss as my nationality. So
Oh, wait, what?
Swiss as my nationality. They didn't think that Swiss is the name, it's part of the name. They categorize under when they film the form, they put Swiss as a nationality. So
Okay.
interesting fact. Yeah, it's given by my father. So I would say, yeah, Swiss. Well, I'm just a real estate agent who has been in the market for about 9 years. So I'm kind of a senior. So only recently during the COVID time, my team and we started exploring going digital as as part of how we can capture the market sales during the lockdown time. Yeah.
All right. So speaking of 9 years, okay, that means you're gonna hit a decade. Is it this year?
This year will be my 9th year.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So yeah, thankfully I'm also working towards my PEA, which is a probationary estate agent's license. Real estate license. So I'm looking at in future probably not so much on the field, but more of being a license holder. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. So you say 9 years, right? So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you started and what made you start 9 years ago? That means what? 2003? Sorry, my math is worse. 2003, 4?
Yeah, it's 2003, about that. I first got into real estate because I was following my brother and my school friend. And I just came back from Singapore. I was working in marketing in Oral-B, Procter and Gamble. And then life was okay, but it was getting quite routine. Monday to Friday and then weekend and then start again. So it's like routine. So my brother Jordan got invited me to come back and said like, let's work together. Let's do real estate together. It'll be fun. So that's how I got started.
Oh, okay. So, 2000, that kind of zaman, right? It was quite different compared to now, how it is in the market. So, what do you see, like the major difference that you can see from that 2000s market and right now?
Difference is that at that time, market was doing very well. It's like, it's going so fast. So we just like have to grab sales here and there. But now it's a bit of challenge. Plus another information, there are more RENs out there. The number is constantly increasing.
How many were there though, like when you starting out?
My rent number was 15,900. I think now it's about 40,000. Yeah, and IQI alone, which is the real estate agency I'm working with, every month they do onboarding session, like they do trainings.
Recruitment. Okay.
Those who decided to join IQI as their agency, they do about like 500 every month. So can you imagine the number of real estate agencies?
Just one agency alone.
Yeah, just one agency alone.
Oh
So that's the difference. If you think that time was difficult, now, plus with the economy situation, it's a bit more tougher to survive in this industry.
Okay, so that's why we are here to talk with Swiss, because not only is she pivoting from the old style of marketing, now she's going to a more digital style. So that's what we want to talk about today, and how a real estate agent can take control of their social media and how they can start branding for themselves, even though they are Subsale or project agents. So before that, because I'm looking at your listings in your YouTube, right? Most of them are Subsale.
Yes.
So are you a Subsale agent or
Yes.
project?
For sure, Subsale.
All right, okay, that's what we're gonna talk about today.
For sure.
Okay. So before we get into the all the stuff about it, right? I
Yeah.
just want to ask you something. Making property sexy again. Who came up with it? Why came up with it? And what is the meaning of it?
Well, the idea came out from my other brother, Leonard. We went for one day. We went for like a convention by IQI. So and then someone was talking about you have to brand yourself, brand. Then so he came out from that, and then he said, I know what we're going to do next. We are going to focus on branding. And that's how we got started. So he told me since he's able to do the video editing, so I will be the face to do the presentation. So he said, okay, this tagline will work for us. This will.
Okay. So that means the tagline just was like the first thing that came into your brother's mind.
It was over a period of time, but after that moment of attending that convention, we got the gist of what the speaker was trying to say, and it took some days or weeks to get that idea, fine tune it over time.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure when you say about branding, let's focus on branding.
Yeah.
One of the brands is called Unscripted, right? It's where you make it raw. Raw
Yes.
property tour. Okay. So just a question before we get into why Unscripted.
Yeah.
I noticed that some of the videos, the unscripted part, started at episode 10.
Yeah.
So what happened to the previous 9 episodes?
Oh my gosh, it's horrible. Talk halfway and then forgot. Script freeze too much. So we have those things. Not on public, but we have it on the
Private section.
private section, the offline section. So if anyone was interested to watch those very awkward videos,
Do let us know in the comment section. We can release that.
Oh.
Because if you look at it, right, I'm not sure like your first 9 episode how was it, but compared to now, I'm pretty sure it was a very big improvement.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that kind of journey, and I want to know how was Swiss done 9 episodes before that.
Yeah, well, comment if you are interested to view the first.
Alright.
The houses has already been sold, so we thought, okay, let's skip that and let's move forward for the next thing.
Okay. So speaking about unscripted, right? What made you decide to make it more natural, like very raw? Because at the time, maybe when did you start releasing those videos though?
It was just after the first lifting of the MCO 1.0. So that was about June, July, maybe July.
2020
July,
lah.
2020, yes.
Okay. So I mean at the time, those property tour videos was like trending, like those high end things like maybe you can familiar with names like Ryan Serhan, Property Lim Brothers, all those people doing those kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
What made you pivot from like, hey, okay, other than budgeting,
Yeah.
hey, I don't want to do those kind of stuff. I want to be raw and scripted because most agents cannot do that because they are not very familiar talking in front of camera.
Okay. So it came out of necessity. I have a difficulty to remember script, firstly.
I mean, who doesn't?
Okay, so remembering script. So once I start to memorize script, I realized that the connection with the audience was not there. So my videographer, which is my brother, said that, come on, you got to like up the energy, up the connection, forget the script, just talk as you walk. So that's how it got started. And also, well, the luxury products, it's good to improve your image if you are into going to that segment. But then, I mean, realistically, we were very, realistic with our expectation. We starting, and so, whichever the owner who has given us the opportunity to film their houses, a lot of them, they might not come from a bungalow or semi-D house, but they open their home. So we were very thankful for that first opportunity to enter into the market.
Okay. So is it very hard though? Like, how do you plan it out? Because if you ask me myself, I went to like speaking training because if you see me, I can speak very confidently to you right now.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, I was like, oh shit, what am I supposed to speak now? I don't know what to speak. But when it comes to property, what I see is that you're an agent. You should know what is this, because you get like a brief of the property or the materials. So it will make it simpler, I would say. Like for myself, like because you're just explaining stuff, ma. So how do you plan it out? How do you make it easy?
You mean for the actual viewing or the
The
video?
actual video.
The video. So I would imagine that I have a friend coming
Okay.
into the house, and
Okay.
then I describe it as I would, using some things that they can understand, some concepts which they understand, some ideas that I've seen in other houses. That's how I usually do it, like speaking to a friend.
Okay. So hear that, guys? Speak to your friend. You know, the camera is your friend. So bring along a friend to shoot your videos. Okay. So you say you're a subsale agent.
Yeah.
Because our general audience are basically real estate agents, and maybe some of them are experts and some of them are just getting started on. Because we interview a lot of project agents and agency owners. Agents become agency owners, and we want to know from your side, because you're the first subsale agent we have in the show, is that how do you get started and how do you take branding into that as a subsale agent?
I would say that firstly, just subsale agents are kind of like a different. They work in a different kind of mode compared to project real estate agents, because we have to source out for listings from the owners as well as looking out for the buyers. Whereas for the project agents, the listings are already kind of available from the developer, so the things are on paper. So, and then they just need to source out for the buyer. So now, as a subsale agent, you have two things to juggle: look for owner, look for buyer. It's really tough to do those two things at the same time. So, back to your question. And what was your question?
Okay, so if let's say agents want to start as a subsale agent,
Yeah.
where should they start and how should they start?
Where should they start? Start with somewhere where you are familiar, maybe in your own house, neighborhood.
Neighborhood, okay.
Yeah, your own neighbors. With your own friends, maybe not, because your friends might have listings all scattered everywhere. It's going to confuse you a lot, thinking that working for a friend is easier. Not really. Work with somewhere where you're familiar. It's your own neighborhood. You
On
know,
backyard lah.
yeah, you know the jalan, you know the street, the cafes, everything, and then you love the place. I hope that you love the place, which brings that connection to the buyer.
Okay. So because it's quite different from projects, getting listings, because the listings are there because they're given to them, right? For subsale, is it that you have to go knock the door like, hey, do you want to sell the house? Do you want to sell the house?
Yeah, sometimes we do that.
Oh, is it?
Yes, sometimes we do that. I mean, like, if it's a neighbor, then if your neighbor is at home, let's just give a door knock, or maybe drop a flyer, those things. So, and sometimes the thing get difficult if it's like a matured neighborhood and the house has no owner for so long. To sell that house, to trace who, maybe the owner has passed and the descendants, which are the children, is not in the country. It's very tough to search for those houses listing.
Oh, okay.
So it takes time to search for owner and search for buyer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, looking, because I've worked with some subsale agents before, and it's very hard to market, especially when it comes to video, because the turnaround is quite late and you don't see the results very fast. And usually subsale, like, it will take some time to like, hey, meet the buyer, meet the seller, and then go through their agents to convert. So if let's say as an agent, they want to market, where should they just start? Like, just give us a foundation to it.
You mean for subsale agents?
Yes.
Yes, I do agree that the turnaround can be quite slow. But then it depends on what kind of listing you got, whether it's a grade A, grade B, grade C. If you got a grade A kind of listing, the listing is going to swipe out very fast. So you don't, one thing about subsale is that there's no rarely is there exclusivity. This market is really saturated with a lot of real estate agents. So you got to sometimes you're competing with 5, if not 10, or not maybe 20 of the same agents working on the same listing. So if you're going to do a video, YouTube, you're going to take a lot of time. And by the time your rivals would already have a head start, because they're focusing on core things, which is posting on iProperty and getting in calls. Whereas you're still editing, you're still like, by the time the video is done, published and viewed, the house probably sold already, which is what happened to a few of our listings.
Okay.
So I would say you have to know your product very well first before deciding whether you would want to post it on YouTube. This is why a lot of the agents who are selling the houses, they go for the luxury market, because luxury market's not likely to sell very fast.
Okay.
They can do the editing and then the house will still likely be there.
Okay. That means they have a proper time to like market, shoot, send.
Yes, and it's also worth their cost of
The
spending
production, yes, the
production
marketing as
yeah.
well. Okay, all right. So, have you tried any projects before? Have you tried marketing any projects?
Well, projects, yes, but new projects, no. We have one, I'm not too sure what episode is it, is La Nouvelle in KLCC. That one is projects because it's from the developer.
Okay. So, since you've done projects before, right, how different it is marketing a subsale property and a project property?
How different is it?
Yeah.
For projects, well, I just go to the showroom. It's comfortable. Everything is so presentable.
Okay.
If you've seen my subsales videos, some will be
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
I think the recent one I saw was like a land, and
Yeah.
then there was like you were under the sun.
Yeah, and you don't, and then okay, I didn't of course I didn't mention it, but there was mosquitoes, there was
I mean,
like
of course.
weeds, and then there's like hot sun, so it's not expressed through, but if a person who is considerate, they would say, maybe there is a lot of challenge for her to go through, and plus the house is not beautiful, fantastic.
I mean,
it's like,
it looks like a rundown, abandoned house, right?
so what can you do? Smile and like, I don't want to. No, so we just go with the flow. So, and sometimes also some houses, the owner just put the mop behind. So I'm like, oh, let's make property sexy again. Ding, one mop there.
Yeah, that's the new sexy.
I'm trying to blur that thing out. I'm not able to.
Okay. So like, okay, I understand the difference between a subsale and a project marketing there, because project is very comfortable, but also you have a lot of competition for it.
Yeah.
But why though? Like, if let's say you facing all this, like, but why you do it though? Like, why subsale?
Because I think that if you are okay, if you're good with your branding, then go for the subsale. Because subsale market, it's the timeline for you to. Let's be real with all the real estate agents here. Subsale, it's tougher, but your money, your payout or commission is kind of faster or
That
more
is true.
steady. Right? That's the fact. So if and my dropout rate from conversion is much higher compared to project sales. I'm not sure. I heard sometimes it's 50%. Whoever pays the booking fee doesn't translate into actual buyer. Whereas in the subsale, because the initial upfront cost to get into buying a house, it revolves a lot of money. People take more consideration before they fill up the booking form. Knowing that sometimes the owner might not return their earnest deposit, so they'll be very careful to read the clauses and put before they sign the dots and put in the earnest deposit. So hence that's the reason why it's tougher. But yeah, you've got a good sport player. So
There is high risk, high reward lah.
it's not high risk, it's just a lot more work.
Okay.
A lot more work on the field. So you don't really see a lot. That's the reason why you don't see a lot of subsale agent doing so much on their social media, because they're so busy already.
Yeah.
And if they are so busy on social media, I'm just wondering about their sales.
Yep.
How can you get so much of sales if you're so busy, like replying to so many people? I'm interested. So no.
Yeah. But speaking of turnaround, right? I just
Yeah.
want to ask you a question about like the project sales, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think? I have asked some agents like this before. Like, why do you think the money payout, right? It takes so long. Like sometimes it takes like 6 months.
It's based on developer to developer. The Exim developer, I heard it's only 1 week, but then there are other developers who are also giving you that as long as they cannot collect the money from the purchaser, they are not going to release. So it's like their word for you to get the money. So but as well as for subsale, it's kind of clear that by the time the SMP has been signed and stamped, the payout comes out. That this is not too long. We can anticipate and then go for the next deal.
All right. So earlier you spoke about like those socials having like most subsale agents don't have social, or
Yeah.
they're not even focusing too much about it. Like,
Yeah.
all right, but since you say right, no need to focus on sales lah, because I mean sorry, socials, they can just focus on sales, bring people in.
Yeah.
But you are doing socials as well. So why do you think it's very important right now for subsale agent to have a social media?
Well, because I'm looking into the future. I'm not looking just to kill the deal today.
Okay.
I have mentioned earlier, I said I'm looking to get my license, and that is important for me to do the branding right now. If I'm just thinking for today, yeah, well, I'll go all out to just close as many sales and forget whoever knows my name, nothing doesn't matter. So it's a balance of between now and what you want in the future. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of the future, right? Since we all know videos is the next thing, because it's more effective in branding as well as photos. Because photos you can get instant reaction, like you can post like those posters given by the developer or just picture put in iProperty.
Yeah.
But as you see, videos are getting trendy, and now all the metaverse and virtual reality stuff coming out. But why do you think people don't take advantage of this, especially those younger generation?
Younger generations, I think they do. It's the older ones who.
I mean, the older one, I can understand lah, because sometimes there's a barrier between like converting from an old style kind of marketing going to a new style. I've seen a lot of old, not say like those OG peoples from Penang. They actually started doing videos, and it's like it just, for me, it will take barrier time. But what I see in the market is most young people, they don't take advantage of video. Yes, they do video, but they release those developer videos lah, all those like low quality videos just from their phone and everything.
Oh, okay. I guess you're seeing those people who don't, because I see a lot.
Oh, okay.
I see a lot already on social media of people posting videos, maybe. But then, of course, there are a lot more in that segment which did not make video. Yeah, maybe it's camera shy, maybe speaking and then don't know, freeze. Yeah, there's a lot of reason. I'm not sure, but I just had to go through that same process with them, and then decide that there's the way forward is to just put your face up front and.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just shoot 9 episodes and then put them private later. Okay. So I'm pretty sure 9 years of your industry, and then you started out 2020. Can you share with us some of the like weirdest experience you got, or the like you can remember it kind of experience in 9 years of your industry?
There's so many.
Give us a top three, because we still got some time to spare.
So many. I just don't know. So many, and at every point when you break through that mental barrier, you just like you just hit another, then you go again, go another ceiling. So there's just so many. I know if you ask me this question maybe like 8 years ago, I would say, don't assume. Simple thing as that. Don't assume you know the answer, because everyone is different. Every buyer, they think they might know that they don't like this, but when they see the house, maybe they might change. So they don't even know themselves. So don't assume that.
Okay.
That is one of it. Other than that, I think just being very cool, because buyers sometimes they have a lot of they just want to scold somebody, so
I've been in that situation before.
yeah, so putting your ego low enough so that you can let them just vent out their pent up emotion. Maybe they're not just angry, not angry, no hard feelings, but it's just so happened that they a lot of things just came out, so no hard feelings. So for specific details, I think it would depend on like the case to case, because every deal is so different. And what I do is I just write it on a journal, so to help me remember the days that would make me like angry, the days would make me cry, and that thankfully is still standing here sitting here to share this with you all. But specifically, I think it has to be, if you ask, I just say it's too many to recall everything all once.
Okay, so if you guys want Swiss again in the show, do let us know in the comment section. We can bring her and then we can just sit down, have a mamak session, Chirita all the 9 years worth of stories.
Yeah, ask me specifically, how did you handle when you deal with this? Then I would have the story behind.
Yes, we will bring you in for the next one.
I'll be
Okay, so
glad
what
to do
about
that.
your shooting though? Like okay, for ourselves, we have a lot of like crazy stories when it comes to shooting. Sometimes this mess up or sometimes we break some stuff in the sales gallery accidentally. So is there anything special that happened during shoots? Because I know that some of the property you go right are still under construction. I'm not sure. I saw your first property that I think your brother did it.
Yeah.
It was still under construction,
Oh,
right?
that was so dangerous.
Yeah. Like any stories you can share from shooting time?
From shooting time. I think there was one. We did 5 shooting in one day. We just like, oh,
5?
let's do it.
Oh shit, 5?
That was in Taman Tun.
Wait, although all properties are in Taman Tun?
Most of them were in Taman Tun, and then there was one in Montiera. So we were like rushing, change baju, and then go for the next one. That time, because we really got the mood to start.
The endorphins are coming out.
Yeah,
already.
we got the mood to start making videos already. So my brother, the videographer, was there, and the owners were at home. They just finished MCO, so still staying at home. And then open to the idea of having YouTube video for their house. So that time we just make like 5. So back to back, no eating, just rushing and changing clothes.
Is that released in YouTube? All of it?
Yes, all of it. Well, no, not all of it. So I think most of it managed to get out, but some of them, yeah, like I said, by the time the video was edited, the house was sold already.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, 5 videos a day.
And that was our peak period. We just made 5 in a day, from morning back to back. Just back to back.
I have so many questions. How do you? Okay, first, what do you plan to talk about it? And two, like when you go there, because it's a subsale, you need to ask owners permission. So do you like just go to the door like, hey, are you free now? Can we shoot video? Was it like that?
Oh no, we already booked their time in advance. We got the permission and consent. Some owner even want us to sign some contract for video recording their house to say that the video is their asset. So this kinds of owner, we didn't proceed with making videos for their houses.
Yeah, I mean, true lah. Because once you sign, your hard work becomes their assets, and then they can give to other agents, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally understand that. So, let's talk about the future of real estate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you're following the whole virtual world, metaverse kind of news. If you are following, there are some few agents.
Yeah.
Agents in the metaverse. They sell real estate, digital real estate asset. So, let's have an open conversation about this and see how it's gonna be in the next 10 years, 8 years. Do you think physical real estate agent are going to drop and they're going to move to digital real estate agent? Do you think that?
Well, this is the thought that I have in my mind. I'm thinking, well, how is physical real estate going to drop? Because your body is still physical. You still need somewhere to sit and go virtual. So my question is, how does the virtual real estate work because in economics, basic, right?
Yep.
We learn that land is scarce and hence, or maybe Bitcoin is scarce. So the limited amount ensures that the price can be kept, right? So if you are able to create virtual land just next neighborhood, so how do you cap that price? Because you can make infinite number of new township.
Yep,
I was
yep,
like,
yep.
so how does that work? I'm sure that in the future they will solve that question I have in my mind. Yeah. But there is a growing trend. Now we are at that YouTube stage, and pretty soon we will be moving to the avatar stage. But
Ready Player One kind of stuff.
Yeah, Ready Player One. How does that work? I'm not too sure, but I'm still open to the possibility that it's going to change.
But it's kind of weird though, because I recently read a story that
Yeah.
someone, I think it's from Singapore or it's in Asia, a guy managed to sell a house and a digital real estate for 69 million.
Yeah.
It was like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, well, that's a one-off case, and then behind that, there's a lot of people who are also wondering, just like you, how does that happen?
But here's my take on this,
Yeah.
Since I'm one of those generation where it's like I'm in the middle of those changing.
Yeah.
And what I see is that we are going through a more dematerialized kind of time. Like we don't care about our materialistic stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I don't know if you notice, our phone is basically my life. Like what
Yeah.
I have here, whenever I go, I bring it with me.
yeah,
Right?
it's your brain.
It's my brain. It's like if I lose it, right, I lose 70% of my life.
Yeah.
This kind of thing.
It
like
helps you to think. It helps you to make decision. Even I got here, I came by ways, and
Yeah.
it helps me to.
Yeah. So
many-
like thinking about it, right? I feel as though like in the future, real estate agent, like you said now, you say like 40,000 registered real estate agent.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because there's like Earth 2.0. If you heard of it, there's like a metaverse called Earth 2.0 where they sell land, just
Okay.
land only, just land.
Yeah.
I don't know why lah, but even I'm pretty sure you know Peng Jun. He bought some lands in like some freaking countries, like digital asset lands.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird where I feel like, because I think that videographers can be obsolete in the near future because now like those InShot, those apps are coming out. And do you think that real estate agent, let's not obsolete, but do you think the numbers will just drop?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's like even doctors as well, lawyers as well. If you say this is a brain, this brain can be a superpower. It can replace tons more. Its knowledge is more stronger than 100 doctors combined together to diagnose a person. So what is stopping technology from replacing real estate agents as well as photographers, videographers? So,
Yeah. But how do you feel though? Like you hearing that, like, how do you sleep at night though? Like how do you plan to overcome it?
well, we go with the flow. When the time comes, we will solve the problem then.
Okay. So last question before we end the forecast, right? This is for the viewers that are planning to buy properties, because not only we have agents, but we also have like those youngsters around my age, which is around like mid-20s to late 20s, or maybe like starting a family. Because I just recently bought a house last year,
Okay.
and we just got it lah this year January because of the MCO stuff lah, this and that. So it was a very difficult decision for myself because I will consider myself as a freelancer because I work for myself and money is not stable all the time.
Understand.
But I took the risk. But coming for the future style, right? Like most youngsters, they don't have either stable income or the income cannot, compensate for the housing one. Do you think at the moment is there more opportunities for youngsters to buy houses? Now that the HOC program has ended.
I think this year might be quite a challenging year.
Yes.
I can start just based on what I see, and developers, because they built a lot of units, which in the condo segment, So yeah, there are chances. I think because of oversupply, it will drive price down.
Yes.
I suspect so.
Yeah. That's why I felt like it because I was buying my house. Okay, I bought it in Rawang. I was thinking like, should I wait for the price to drop? Because because I've been shooting property for like 4 years, and I keep seeing those. I call themselves mass market properties, where they just build a box and then multiply, and they sell it to the general people lah.
Yeah.
I call it as a mass market properties lah.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing a lot of properties, especially with this one in Cheras, those 4 towers that similar to a China kind of property. I'm not sure you know that project or not.
No.
If you drive by Eco Cheras that way, you will see that 4 towers one with like I think one tower is almost like 80 to 100 units. So it's like the China mainland concept where they build a building to house 400, 500 people in one development.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like thinking, is the price gonna drop? I mean, people are saying market's gonna crash. It's gonna bubble, blah 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 blah.
I think so. Prices,
Right.
but then you have to look at the segment as well. For areas like in Damansara, if the holding power of the owner in the subsale, if their holding is strong, then the prices is kind of like it's gonna drop, but not that much. But it's if the supply, you see, so there's the different category, right? Where there's the high rise, and then there's also the landed. It's the landed in this area which are kind of stable. Yeah, and it's the high rise where there is unlimited like buildings stacking one block over another.
Yeah.
That's the one that's gonna like
a lot of drop lah.
Yeah, that is the one, especially if they are investors because they have no plan to stay inside there. So if there's no tenant and there's no plan to stay inside there and you got a monthly mortgage hanging over
Yes.
your head, I think soon enough you would decide that price has to go down even though your purchase price was much higher.
Okay. So give us a quick tip for people like around my age, let's say late 20s, early 20s to late 20s. If they, let's say they want to buy the first house, what advice can you give them then?
What advice? I would say do your research properly, check for a location, that it's feasible for yourself, for who you are now and in 5 years' time. Because you don't want to be buying something which is that is out of your way of your life. Like if you are always based in certain area and then you're choosing to buy somewhere else, unless you're okay with the commute, and I think commute should be improving soon because most people are working from home. So but if if there's certain things that bring you to that area, make sure that you have think of possibly for the next 5 years whether this location would serve your needs well. And also sometimes it's better just to buy under budget instead of buying over just to hit like, oh, I get a better house. But consider the fact that you have to pay for maintenance, and once you get the key, like yourself, you're going to spend things sometimes
Renovations.
renovation, not just renovations first time, right? But at the same time there might be like water, seepage, all these kind of things require money. So if you're going to buy such a big house, be prepared for your maintenance. Would you rather not just buy a smaller house, then you have the excess money saved for maintaining that house? Or would you want to like splurge everything and then have whenever, like, the recent flood, right?
Yep.
So you have a BMW, okay, that's fine, but then there's no insurance to that car. By the time the car got in flood, and then the repair cost is costing so much money, people will just cry to the...
That's a weird thought, because I can share a story. Like my sister's friend just renovated a house in the is it Sri Muda?
Yeah.
Sri Muda. That's one affected, right? Just renovated like only 1 month ago. Boom, hit flood, and then that's like, tell you.
So you have to have that spare thing in the back.
Backup cash lah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right. So okay, we have come to the end of the podcast, and hopefully guys enjoy having Swiss in the podcast. And if you want her to come to the next one and talk us about the 9 years, what she experienced, maybe you can ask questions, and maybe she can go to in depth on it. And yeah, before we end, what's 2022 looks like for Swiss Tan and Tan Estate Groups?
Okay. So even though I said that this year was going to be a tough year, I think tough times will define tough people. So this year we are still expecting growth in our sales and growth in our personal development, as well as in Tan Escape Group. We're still going to publish. Our next one will be a Chinese New Year YouTube video.
All right.
Yeah, it's not a bungalow house. It's but it's a family home. It's the connection we have with the owners, which brings out the shining touch, even though it's a simple house. Yeah. So that is what we'll be doing this year. So.
All right.
Do follow us if you find it interesting.
Okay. I will link all her socials in the description below. And happy Chinese New Year's, guys. I'm pretty sure
Happy
this
New
video,
Year.
this video will be released after CNY, the week of CNY. And yeah, happy Chinese New Year for whoever is watching. And what does it say? 新年快乐.
新年快乐.
What? Oh, no, wait. Oh shit. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm half Chinese, so I only know that half part of it. So, Swiss, can you take over?
I will.
Oh shit.
That much.
Okay, guys. 新年快乐. 恭喜发财. What?
Okay.
Alright, guys. Thank you for watching this video. And always, guys, go out there, discover, connect, and inspire. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah. See you guys. Bye.